Hi, this is Channell Beckner, and I am here to talk to you about how to pay for your child's college education. I know there's a lot of parents out there with seniors who are approaching the end of the semester in a couple of weeks, and you guys are really in the mindset of college. So let's go ahead and discuss that, and I'll teach you how to get your child's college education paid for. Now, how do I know this? Well, I am a mother and I do have 4 children. My oldest son is 22 years old and he is a graduate of the University of Arizona with a psychology degree. And so he's done with school, so I think I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So I just want to go ahead and share that with some other parents because I know this is a topic of interest. All right. So today, basically, we will obviously be talking about paying for college, right? We'll talk about the types of financial aid, the sources of financial aid, applying for aid, and like the timelines and resources. So those are pretty much important factors to understand so we get to the finish line, which is getting your child schools paid for. All right. So first thing we want to touch on is the fact that yes, there is financial aid available for your child to go to school. So with that being said, you definitely want to take advantage of it. It is there for your child and the families to be able to pay for college. Now, this type of assistance can be used to cover like your educational expenses, including tuition, fees, room and board, books, supplies, transportation. So getting this type of assistance is really awesome. And so, don't miss the boat on applying for your financial aid. Now, there are different types of financial aid. Let's talk about the gift aid. Gift aid is money that does not need to be earned or repaid. It's basically it's a grant or a scholarship. So those are pretty awesome to get your hands on, right? And then there is the work study, which is basically money that is earned either on campus or off campus, all right? Then there's also loans, which is money that you or your parents are going to borrow and that must be repaid, and it usually has some interest attached to it. Now, there are merit-based aid, which is, financial aid that is awarded based on a student's merit. Many consider factors like academic achievement, leadership potential, community involvement, and things like that. Okay, so, a lot of your schools out there have, they have like the requirement where you have to do some type of community service, so things like that. Okay, so then there is also the need-based aid, which would be financial aid that is awarded based on a student's financial need, and they may consider the student's income level, okay, in that kind of situation. Now let's talk about scholarships. Scholarships may pay for all or part of your education. Unlike most federal student aid, many scholarships awarded to a student are based off of financial need and is available for all students based on good grades, certain religious backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. You can even do it for athletes, artistic, if you're being athletic, if you're artistic, or creative abilities. So that can all help you get to school, get to college. So let's discuss some sources of financial aid. Well, there is the state and federal government. There are colleges and universities, which is the institutional aid, high school and student organizations, and then there's the employer, civic organizations, foundations, and other private agencies. The U.S. federal government is the largest provider of financial aid, awarding over $150 billion annually. So you really want to get your piece of the pie on that, right? So then, here's a list of the federal programs, the types of aid, and the maximum payouts, okay? So the first one we'll touch on is the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant is a need-based grant and it is the maximum you can receive is $5,815. All right, and then there's the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, which is the FSEOG. It is a need-based grant, and the maximum to be received on that is $4,000. We also have the federal. Let's not forget the federal, because that one is pretty good too. So let me just go back down to where we were with the federal work study. That one's great because that amount varies. Remember, because you can work on campus or off campus, so that amount varies. And then there's the Perkins loan. It is a need-based loan, and the maximum is $5,500. And then there's the direct subsidized loan, which is a need-based subsidized loan on the which is the maximum of $5,500. And then there's the direct unsubsidized and plus loans, are loans that are unsubsidized amount varies. Say that 3 times fast. So there's just a lot to learn, but you can definitely get this information so that your child can go to school. All right. So the state of California also invests heavily in student financial aid programs. The state programs are the Cal Grant A, which is the child must have, or the student must have a GPA of 3.0. This is a need and merit-based grant, and the amounts vary between $5,472 and $12,240. Okay, so that's on the Cal Grant. And then, but keep in mind the GPA must be 3.0. Then you can do the Cal Grant B, which on that one the GPA required is 2.0, and this is a need and merit based. And again, this is the same thing. 5,000. Well, actually, this one is, I think, $5,482 through $12,240 granted. And then there's the Cal Grant C for vocational needs, right? So for vocational education, this is a need-based grant, which is $3,000. Then we have the middle class grant. Excuse me. The middle class, which is basically it's a scholarship, and it's merit-based, and it's a grant, but you must have a GPA of 2.0, and the maximum varies. Then there's also the Chafee grant for foster youth, and a need-based loan, and it's subsidized. The maximum is $5,000. There's also the Dream loans for undocumented students. This is a subsidized loan, and the maximum is $4,000. All students should submit one of the following, which is a free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. This determines students' eligibility for federal, state, and institutional aid. And then there is the California DREAM Act application. This determines undocumented students' eligibility for a California student aid program, the Cal grants, the Chafee grants, and the DREAM loans. Okay. Now here are the 3 steps to getting financial aid. Step 1 is to submit the FAFSA or the CA DREAM Act application during the fall of your senior year of high school, which is right now. Step 2, find out other financial aid programs, which other programs are required. And in step 3, search and, let me go back to step 2. Find out if other financial aid forms are required. Like, that's important because you don't want to send everything in and then you're missing something. So you need to find out everything that's required. And then step 3, search and apply for private scholarships. That is a big one. Search and apply for private scholarships. You can use LA Cash for College as your resource, okay? LA Cash for College. That's your resource that you can turn back to and get this information again. The web is a great resource available to help you find cash for college. Now, let's give you some websites, okay? These are some important websites in regarding applying for your financial aid. There is the financial aid FAFSA.ed.gov, F-A-F-S, like F as in Frank, A as in Apple, F as in Frank, S as in Snake, A as in Apple. So FAFSA.ed.gov, and then there's the studentaid.ed.gov, and then the California one is CSAC.ca.gov, and then the Student Aid Commission is the CalDreamAct.org for the undocumented students. And then the scholarships, this is a great one. Don't forget this one. It is the FastWeb.com. Again, it's www.fastweb.com, and that will give you a list of different scholarships that you can qualify for. It might ask you a couple of questions. It'll ask you a couple of questions about, whatever, to determine which scholarships best suit you, and then you can go through those and you can apply for them. It's really easy and it's free. And then there's the scholarships.com. So scholarships.com. You better know how to spell scholarships before you try to come up. You applying for one. So there you go. So scholarships.com. So guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you find this information very valuable. This is to help your child get to school. Like I said, I have a grown man child of my own. My youngest kids have probably about a good 5-6 years before they hit the college bound financial needs. But my oldest son is done, and it's because of great programs like these. So again, thank you so much for listening. This is Dawn Channell. If you like what you heard, if you like what you saw, then like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.